listeners, to the second episode of our Mythmakers one-shot. We are playing the one-shot on the shoulders of giants. Now, our players are...
Hi, I'm Gerda. I play Katarina, but I will also play Kato, who is a human druid.
I'm Dominique. I play Julie, who's a small child who just flopped over on a giant rock in the last episode. And I will also be playing Adra. I just forgot her name. I'm also playing Adra, and Adra is a human ranger.
Great, and I'm Melanie, and I'm playing Ilse, who is a wannabe scientist, and also Jurgen, who is a Goliath barbarian.
Brilliant. Now, these characters have just arrived at a place called Rey, where Johan Picard, a reverend, is expecting them to have a vision of the past to show how the dolmen, the Hunebene, have come to be. And that's where we left off. It was, in fact, Katarina who picked up one item that triggered a flashback, and it was an amber bead. The other two items are still lying on that same table, which was a flint axe head and a shard of a clay pot. Now this bead, once you touched it, the electricity went through you to the other two characters as well. And you all just plummeted to the ground, unable to react. You don't notice this, however. In your mind, you're seeing flashes of suns and moons flashing across the sky. You see lands shrink as if they're growing in reverse. You see the dolmen standing there for ages and ages until right at a particular moment, it isn't. You're in your village. People are doing all sorts of things. There are people who are opening a hole in the ground where clay pots are cooking. There are people who are preparing hides. People are cooking food or making flint axes. Life goes on in this village, but this day in particular is a sad one, because these items that are being prepared are not for the living, but for someone who's passed. As a matter of fact, Ondo, the chieftain, an important man of this tribe, has just passed away at the age of 38. An old man, sure, but he didn't die of old age. He and a few of your tribe have been killed by giants. Now,
This is mean because he was the only character we knew existed. You immediately kill him.
Care for him, and now he dies.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, sorry, continue.
no worries. You know one other person, but that doesn't make it a whole lot better, I feel, because the other one is Nilu, his daughter. As the tribe, all of you have prepared gifts for the deceased to bring to the other side of life. You notice that Nilu has a necklace with amber beads and walks over to the grave and lays it down at his side. All of you present can hear her say, "See you on the other side, old man. Very soon." She gets up and addresses the whole tribe. She addresses the shaman, Kato. She addresses Jurgen, a half-giant. She addresses Adra and her hound, her wolf, Gruff. She says, long have we fought with giants. Long have they haunted us. But today is the day when another tribe will arrive here, and we will take the fight back to them. Now, the giants are finally losing, our forefathers told and made paintings of fights that they lost, when the giants had the upper hand, when they were dominant in these lands. But finally they are leaving. They're scared, running away. Now is the time. We pick up our weapons and we chase them. Who's with me?
Way! Like,
Is
yeah.
The gods are with us.
Indeed. Now all we need to do is wait for this tribe, the one my father contacted to ask for help against the fight with these giants, to arrive. But we know life is short. We know that it ends. So all of you are coming. Make your final pieces. Make sure that you say farewell to those you love. Because it is possible that we will fail and not return. And with that, she picks up an axe on the ground, puts it in her belt, and walks off to say her own farewells, and give her father her final gifts to the afterlife. What do you guys do in preparation?
I think after that whole speech, like Adra is like all fired up, so she's like basically stomping the ground. Like people sometimes like knock on tables to clap. Basically, she's just stomping on the ground, making noise. Like she's ready for this fight. Like she's looked forward to fighting the giants with full force for a while. And like her wolf next to her, Gruff, like picks up on the energy and is like wiggling and like bumping into her, and she walks off to her like own shed that's close to the edge of the town, I imagine, close to the forest, and she's going to pack her weapons and put it all together in like this sack that she can carry to make sure that she's prepared, and she's mostly ready to let out this anger and this emotion about everything that's happened. And yeah, she's here for it. She's excited.
A lot of your friends, a lot of your family. It's a small group, your tribe. It's not much more than 20 people, but even less because of the people that have been lost recently. But they all cheer with you. You can feel the camaraderie, the people shouting with you. And when you go to your hut, a lot of that energy is still in your body, you feel.
Okay. Well, Kato doesn't have like a close relationship to others except for Ondo, who unfortunately has passed as the shaman of this tribe. She's very in contact with nature as she walks back to her own hut, and from her belt takes some herbs and just throws it on the fire to see what kind of smoke billows from the fire, grabs her hide, looks at the smoke, nods. This will be good. And she walks back, ready for the fight.
As you walk through the door, Nilu is in front of it. She looks at you and gives you a respectful nod and says, I know you and Father have spent much time considering this. But is it wise for you to come with us? If we lose you, we'll lose the powers to grow our crops, to the cows if they get sick. What then?
Child, the gods have already spoken. It is in my path to walk with them and protect this tribe. It is all that we have.
Very well. Oh, I dare not question your decision. Then I'm happy you're here to guide us.
Good. She straightens up her hair a bit, though it doesn't really help. I mean, it's just matted and it's brown and it has beads in it and braids and it like some bones sticking out. Truly the image of a shaman from prehistoric times, like you would. That's her, and she's clearly less athletically built like the other tribe members, as her main function is to cast these rituals and not do hard labor, as well as foraging for leaves and herbs and that kind of stuff. She does carry a wooden stick with her, a quarterstaff.
Are there like jangles and things on it?
Definitely.
I imagine
Definitely.
Like every time she puts it down, it's like clink and
Yeah. You hear the beads go.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah,
A signal to the rest of the village that pay
I'm
attention.
here. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Definitely.
All right. What does Jürgen do?
Yeah, Jürgen looks very stoically at the, can I call it a funeral?
I mean, yeah.
Hands crossed over each other. Moves back to his own house, also a little further away from the village, to meet one last time with his wife, who I imagine is not going because,
She's at the end of her pregnancy.
Yes.
So, yes.
And Jürgen walks in and looks at her. She probably already knows what's going on.
There's a solemn look in her eyes. She realizes that what must happen. And while she doesn't like it, she realizes she cannot stop you. Of all people, you should be going here.
I take her hands, kind of pull her into a hug, and say, I'm not only doing this for me, I'm doing this for all of us, for the two of you.
I tell you to come back, but I know how important this is to you. For all of us. I know why you're doing this.
I know. I'm just saying it's not everything anymore.
Yeah. Don't worry. We'll be fine, whatever happens.
I know.
You know I'm not just a meek girl, right?
That's why you're my wife.
Now, go on.
I take my... javelins didn't really exist at the time. I guess throwing spears?
They had spears, and I guess they threw them.
I'll take my throwing spears. I'll take my great club. I'll spend as much time as I can before I leave and then walk out.
When you walk out, you're met by a very familiar sight. The other people of this tribe who tolerate you. But with your heritage as a half-giant, there's always this tiny bit of suspicion. But some of them walk over to you and prepare with you. After all, there's no reason not to trust you at this point. And so the day passes where preparations are being made, and very, very soon, somewhere at night, you hear a commotion outside. A group of other people, also about 20, but these are mostly men, some women, but no children at all. This is a group designed or formed to chase and fight. They look rough, wearing mostly pelts, some linen, like yourself might be wearing as well, but mostly pelts, strong people, but not very sympathetic looking. And when they walk in, one of them, a bald man with the biggest pelts of all, is in front of them, walks into the village and says, I was here to meet Ondo. Where's Ondo?
Kato will step forward with Ondo's daughter in tow, I'm
Yes,
guessing,
definitely.
as she puts down this quarterstaff. And again, you hear the beads.
Everyone quiets down.
Everyone quiets down, exactly. Ondo has passed. State your business.
We had a deal. We would fight together. Ondo has passed. Who do you have left?
Kato will turn to Ondo's daughter.
She looks over at you. She's barely 18.
Grow up quick in the tribe.
She steps forward and she says, all the warriors of our family, we are still ready to fight. And the big man crosses his arms and looks down. I guess it will do. More people to throw at the giants to tire them out, I suppose. Very well, are we doing this or what?
I step forward.
Me too.
Good. Now, I've already tracked some of them. Makes sense now. There was a blood trail not far from here. I suppose that's where the battle ended, wasn't it? Well, I'm ready when you are.
We are ready now.
Good. How about you men? And all of them cheer and shout. These people have a different way of life to your own. And with weapons in tow, they start marching as a giant group. Even if you simply want to join in the war march, you're just kind of left to just kind of follow them.
Oh my god.
I am not impressed.
I look back one more time, already missing it.
She's there, hands on her belly, and watching you leave. As a group, now about 40, or well, no, not 40, let's say with your tribe it's 10, so a 30 man group. You leave and go or follow their group to the battle, the location of the battle where Ondo died. There are indeed, as you might remember, spots of signs of battle. Blood, broken weapons, shards of flint, knives and axes and spears. It's hard to find any other tracks in this. But one of them, a man with a deer head on his head, and a bow around his shoulder, and war paint, red war paint across his face. He leans down towards the ground and says, "Yes, here it is. Found it again." You can see he has a horn on his side as well. One you think he could blow. And when you follow him, there is indeed a trail. It's faint, but there are several spots of blood. In the battle where Ondo died, it was hard to tell because of the chaos. When the giants left, you didn't see this, but you must have wounded at least some of them. He gets up and says to the giant bald man, "I can follow the track if you like." And he turns to you and says, "Actually, I think it's best if you pull your weight now."
I can help you track. Adra steps forward.
Very good. Go on then.
All right.
You may roll a survival.
Yes, and I can roll with advantage because giants are my favorite enemy.
Hey.
Hell yeah! So that's a 3 and a 14. So that would be 14 plus 3 is 17 for me.
Very good. Well, with a 17, you see that the other tracker, you can tell, the one with the deer head, he's impressed as you elegantly and efficiently follow this trail of blood. You can tell that it's 3 people. However, the longer you follow this track, you notice that some of them are cut off, and it's but a single one that is left to lead on. Where the other 2 went, you don't know, or perhaps they simply stopped bleeding. That much you don't know. You follow this trail towards a very wet area. There's a bit of a lake in the distance. There's some trees. And I'd like all of you to do a perception check.
What type of terrain are we in?
What is your favorite?
Forest.
It isn't quite foresty. It's more like grassland stuff.
All right.
I'm an outlander. I have an excellent memory of maps and geography. I'm not sure if that, I don't imagine I've been here before, have I?
You may have been in the area, but the perception basically isn't necessarily about that.
And I would like to ask, can I kind of get in between the rest of the tribe and Kato and Adra just to make sure they're not harassed?
Sure.
Okay. Well, Kato is slightly preoccupied with other possible signs that might indicate a favor of the gods of some way, as she has a 9 perception.
Oh.
I just figured that you started that, and I was like, oh yeah, no, you didn't.
She rolled shit. Yeah.
I rolled a 13.
13?
17.
Okay, very good. Kato does not see anything in the distance apart from what I've already described.
Trees.
Trees. You look around you. You look at the grass to see if they're sprouting in a particular way, and that's what's taking up your attention.
Yeah.
Ooh, a bird.
We noticed that Adra, that's how you pronounce it, right? Adra? Yeah. You see in the distance a bit of a forest with shrubbery, which would be a perfect place to hide. Other than that, it's quite an open field, which makes it easier for you to also spot a bit of a trail of smoke in the distance at the edge of one of the a bit of a lake.
All right.
And with that, you see that as well. But you can tell that there's figures standing there at a campfire. Some of them are sitting down. There's about 7 figures. Now, from a distance, it's hard to tell how big they are. But then again, you have the trees next to them to compare. And they're as big as a tree.
All right. I'll stop that scout and point at it in case he hadn't seen it.
Let me see if he has seen it.
I need it.
He did not. He was preoccupied with the...
with another bird. Oh, a yellow-crested warbler.
Ooh, lunch.
So many birds.
No, he did not see. And when you touch his shoulder, he pulls away, looking at you with a very intense look. And then when you point in that direction, he looks over there, and you can see his pupils widen as of a cat. He communicates this as well to the bald man. They start preparing, grabbing their weapons, hyping themselves up a little.
Obviously, I show Kato as well.
Have you seen this plan before? A giant. What?
Yes, over there.
How many?
Good question.
About 7.
About 7.
And they are as big as the trees.
Yes.
Small trees?
No.
Big giant.
We should use the trees to our advantage.
And just to be sure, the others that are with us are preparing for the battle to come.
They seem to be preparing for a frontal...
Yeah, nothing like, ooh, we need to be stealthy, we need to be...
Some of them pound their chest, trying to hype themselves up, clashing their weapons.
So not a stealth mission. I learned that much.
That's not what they are planning, at least.
Kato will look at her companions, at Jürgen and at Adra. I think we should use the forest in our advantage. I do not know what the gods think of these men and how they act, but I know what the gods want for us and our tribe, and we should use the forest.
I agree.
I'll have to admit, when I get close to giants, I can't really control myself, but until that point, I agree. The forest is a good cover.
Maybe you can be a distraction. Together with the other loud guys.
Well, my priority is my tribe.
Agreed.
And what the gods say about our tribe. And I think nature is willing to help us hide. As they choose their frontal attack, we can use the forest. AKA pass without a trace. Nice.
Sounds good. Just saying, as soon as we get close, I don't know what's gonna happen.
You don't see Kato showing fear. That's not the case. But there is a slight concern. I mean, these are giants the size of trees. And our tribe is quite small already. So there's a lot riding on this, getting as many as people as we can back to the tribe. Otherwise, what is left of the tribe?
Nilu kneels down next to you, and she has the same concerned look on her face, but there's also a determination, likely the fact that she wants to avenge her father. But she's been listening in, and she says, let those grunts take the full blow. Let us do what we do best.
Yes.
Let them be the distraction then.
Sounds good.
Clearly a daughter of your father.
She smiles with a tinge of sadness, but she nods as if saying thank you.
If you'll allow me to fluff this a little bit.
Sure.
I mean, Kato will, from a simple leather pouch, she'll take some animal bones. Seems like different animal types, and she just, like dice, she shakes them. Yeah. Oh, wait, yeah.
Just for the sake we have dice. Yes.
She shakes the bones and lets them fall on the ground. She sees the pattern that emerges. She nods, and weirdly enough, like a cloud passes in front of the sun, and where we are standing, it's getting a little more dark. And as we move to the trees, we are shaded by a quite dark shadow as we move closer, but are hidden by nature itself.
Love it.
Very cool, very cool. And as you reach the forest, you're getting so close that you're going to have to roll for that. But that roll, we'll do in the next episode.
Ooh, I was just reaching for my dice.
Well, thank you for listening, everyone, to this Mythmakers one-shot. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.